Now, to talk more about this landslide, we're joined by Margo Wagner. She's the chair of the Cariboo Regional District, and she joins us from Canham Lake in South Cariboo, British Columbia. Really appreciate talking to you tonight.
Hi, Sarah. Good to talk to you too.
So there are a lot of questions about the potential, and it is potential, but danger that we're dealing with here when it comes to this landslide. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so the province has had their experts out at the slide itself. They're now feeling that it's probably more optimistic that the water goes over the top, which probably is the best scenario. We've been working really hard with the agricultural community that is along the Chilcotin River. If you look at the new evacuation alert we just issued for down to Churn Creek, it actually affects very few residences, but a tremendous amount of land. And it's because there's some huge ranches along the Chilcotin River banks. So we have somebody in our emergency operations center that's working with the agricultural families, encouraging them to get livestock away from the riverbanks, because the concern is that there will be more sloughing as this water goes through, especially, depending how much force it goes through with. The area is very sandy and it's limestone, and there's a lot of hairpin bends in that river. It's not a straight river by any stretch of the imagination, so there will be more erosion going on.
No, I mean, I've been through the parts a couple of times. It's a beautiful area in many respects. You, I'm certain, must be familiar with this part of the province. When you saw that landslide, I mean, when you've seen the pictures of the debris field, what went through your mind? It's a massive change to the landscape.
It's huge. I actually flew it this afternoon, and the scarp area where this thing let go is like half a crater. It's huge. And what flabbergasts me is the dead trees from the fire that went through in 2017 are still upright on the slide in the middle of where the river should be. They didn't fall over, which indicates that it kind of came off in a great big slab. It's the buildup of dead trees from the fires, the debris field, and the amount of water that's now up against that landslide is tremendous. It's absolutely amazing. And there's so little water on the other side. There's a few very, very small little creeks that run into the Chilcotin past that, but really not enough to add any water of any substance.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at the pictures. It's basically a lake on one side and almost completely dry in many respects on the other side. Have you been given any kind of time frame as to when we might see water come over the top, which is as you say, the likely scenario?
No, we haven't. I think everybody's hoping, Mother Nature's going to tell us, but I don't think she will. I think it'll just happen. But it's, I can't stress enough how important it is for people to stay away from the riverbanks and heed the warnings from the provincial government. It may sound like it's a long time before it's going to get down to Hope, but if it comes down with the velocity that they're expecting, especially if the dam breaches, there's going to be a lot of debris and stuff coming down. And, the best advice I can give, especially for the residents along the Chilcotin River, is to stay off the banks and stay out of the creek. I know it's tempting to go down when it's a dry creek bed, but it's not safe. The ministry has had no machinery down on the landslide at all. It's not safe for machinery. They're doing everything kind of by air and with other equipment that they have.
Margo, you talk about the fact that there are some ranches along in the nearer to the area that might be dealing with this flooding. And so I don't know if you've talked to those individuals, but I'm sure that there are people throughout the province who have dealt with wildfires in previous years who are watching what's happening here. And we don't know that that's necessarily the cause, but definitely there's erosion as a result of wildfires. I mean, no one could have expected this was going to happen. And what are those ranchers saying to you about the fact that because of this, what might happen to their properties?
I haven't actually personally talked to any of the ranchers. They go through the Emergency Operations Center. But, if they lose land, they lose pasture and they lose farm capabilities. The concern that we have now is the landslide happened on the opposite side to where the bulk of the ranches are. So currently, where the landslide happened, it came from an area where it was mainly dead, standing, burned wood. But because of the type of soil that the Chilcotin River is in and the type of kind of topography around it, there is a concern that as this flow increases, whether it goes through the dam, whether it goes over the top, there will be more erosion, and that could affect the ranches that are it would be the north side of the Chilcotin River.
Chair of the Cariboo Regional District, Margo Wagner, thank you so much for the conversation.
My pleasure, Sarah. Thank you. Have a good evening.